to try to get some more kids to have some safe sports in the fall. And to give you more details about that, I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. Salmon, who's going to get you some more details. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for your continued support and leadership in the recovery efforts in the state of Maryland. We've had the great pleasure today of traveling to many schools here and also across the state in the last few weeks to witness firsthand how school systems are making in-person and hybrid models of learning work effectively in spite of the restrictions in place due to COVID-19. And today was another tremendous example of that. I remain incredibly impressed and grateful to those who have worked so hard to get our children back into classrooms in the safest manner possible. And I look forward to continuing my travels to various schools around the state to observe the innovative ways that schools are engaging with students. To that end, I do want to briefly discuss the nature of high school athletics today. The Maryland State Department of Education and the Maryland Public Schools Secondary Athletics Association have heard loudly and clearly from members of the school communities across the state that there is a desire for more options as it relates to fall sports. On June 10, 2020, I announced opportunities for all local systems to begin bringing back students into classrooms. Among those opportunities was the ability of high school sports to begin conditioning and training. The importance of that decision was to ensure our student athletes were being engaged for their mental health, physical well-being, having social interactions, and profiting from the intangible benefits found in athletic participation. Many systems took advantage of this prior to the start of the academic year. These opportunities have continued to exist for student athletes based on the initiative of the MPSSAA to request specific waiver regulations from the State Board of Education on June 23, 2020. With the State Board of Education's approval, the MPSSAA on July 7, 2020 released a return to play guidance document requiring each local school system to assemble a return to play committee. The guidance issued by the MPSSA provided health and safety measures to gradually return students to participation through the plans developed by each local school system's Return to Play Committee. To date, many systems have announced plans to bring back students into school campuses for in-person athletic opportunities this fall. After recent discussions with the State Board of Education, the 24 local school system superintendents, the executive director of the Maryland of the MPSSAA, stakeholders, and parents, I am taking the following steps to permit more opportunities for student engagement in interscholastic activities. Today I'm announcing that all school systems shall, as soon as possible, provide conditioning and training opportunities using the current available options provided by the MPSSAA. On October 7th, 2020, all local school systems may begin formal fall sports session practices in preparation for a competition season which will begin on October 27. All practices and preparation should be in accordance with COMAR required practice regulations. Golf competitions may begin immediately on October 7th. In addition, I am expanding the seasonal competition timeframes as previously announced for all winter and spring sports within this plan. Local school systems who choose not to restart the fall sports season on October 7th may use the second semester plan option as previously announced. A full explanation of available timeframes and opportunities will be released to local school systems and posted on the MPSSA website as soon as this press conference is over. Each local school system, as I said, can select whatever option best addresses the conditions in their jurisdictions, but we encourage systems that have or are continuing to bring students back into schools to consider allowing athletics to resume. Obviously, the health protocols for safe athletic activities outlined by the Maryland Department of Health and the MPSSAA Local health departments and the recovery plan for education must be strictly followed to ensure the safety and welfare of students. High school sports and competition are deeply rooted in the fabric of our schools and communities. The steps taken today are directly related to the needs of our students to be active and engaged for their physical, social, and emotional well-being. These programs have had a history of providing opportunities for all students and not those just with the economic capacities to participate. The mentorship, camaraderie, and daily structure with these experiences and what they provide not only supports our students' academic success, but also has a generational history of reaching many at-risk youths, some of them struggling in their remote learning environment. I would like to thank the Governor again for his leadership and the multi-agency response to COVID-19 that has placed the state of Maryland in the position to bring students back into the classrooms and back onto the athletic fields and courts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Salmon. And with that, I'd be happy to take a few questions. Brad?
Governor, in our last event, I talked to County Executive Mark Elrich. I spoke with Prince George's County Schools today. They say, nope, staying fall semester, the entire semester, we're going to stay online. Those are your two largest school districts. What do you say to that? Dr. Salmon wants to weigh in as well.
Well, I'll touch on it, and then maybe Dr. Salmon can address it. You know, the law allows and gives the power to the local duly elected and appointed school boards to make those decisions. We, for quite some time, because of our great health metrics and because of very thoughtful safe and reopening plans that have been worked on by the state MSDE, the Maryland State Department of Education, and MDH, the Department of Health, you know, we're ready, and we've said quite some time ago that all school systems are allowed to open, begin bringing kids back to school. I know that all 24 have submitted plans to at least bring some kids safely back in school, including Montgomery County and Prince George's County, because they were required to by law. So I'm not sure what they told you. I know they're not ready to open all the schools, but they do have to start some in-person classroom instruction. I don't know if Dr. Salmon wants to weigh in on that.
Yeah, I think, again, what I just announced, local school systems can make their decisions based on their metrics at that point in time. We just want to encourage systems to, you know, get their, start moving towards this, because the thing that we're most concerned about with our student athletes, for example, is that if we wait to do any kind of conditioning or involvement in sports till, say, February, those students will have been out of conditioning and practice for almost an entire calendar year, which is just very concerning.
Tom?
Governor, I guess both of you might tackle this. We've seen in the professional leagues, this has been problematic, even with the resources that they have at their disposal. The question's about safety. I know you said, Dr. Salmon, that this is going to be posted later, but what safety protocols specifically for COVID are going to be in place, especially as we head into what some health officials on the national level are warning might be another wave of this virus about to approach us?
Well, obviously, we have taken this pandemic incredibly seriously. I've taken some of the earliest and most aggressive actions in America. As a result, our health metrics could not possibly be any better. We peaked in March or April, and we've been going down ever since. For the past week, we've had record low positivity, record low number of cases per 100,000. We've had record lows in almost every jurisdiction across the state. We've done a really good job of keeping the health crisis under control. And we don't want to rush, and we don't want to bring back huge crowds. We don't want to fill the schools. But we believe that there are ways to go about things safely. We've announced just a short time ago about the acquisition of rapid testing that you can do in 15 minutes. Our health departments have weighed in. The experts at MSDE have weighed in. And obviously, we're not going to do anything that endangers our kids. But we think it's really important to try to make efforts to get more of them back into face-to-face instruction and to give them the opportunity to have some of this the sports activity that they also need. So I don't know, Dr. Salmon, anything you want to weigh in on that one?
No, but I will just say one thing, and that is, I'll say one thing, and that is the MPSSA website and also the MSDE website has the safety measures listed on those. They're very detailed, and folks can look that up on the website and get the specifics of that.
I'll say I think by the way, I think Frederick County was probably the first county to work on getting kids back in practice and conditioning, and so I want to compliment them for already having taken that initiative. Sorry.
I was curious about the timing of the announcement. Some people might say it's too late to have a fall sports season. Timing of the announcement today.
Well, the timing of the announcement is that our health metrics have hit record lows for every single day of the past week, and we've been trending downwards for more than 3 months. And because we now have all 24 jurisdictions with a plan to bring some kids back in class, we thought it was time to address this. We've been working on this for months, and I think the state Department of Education and all of our experts thought that we were able to move forward.
Governor, the conversations you've had with parents about this issue, what have they been telling you? Is this something they've been pushing for as well?
I haven't taken any survey, but I can tell you that there have been parents clamoring and protesting outside of my house in Annapolis, and showing up on Zoom meetings at the state and local county boards, really pushing. Of course, parents all want to keep their kids safe, but many of them have really been strongly pushing to get the kids who need it the most in class for face-to-face instruction, and they've been really pushing to get some fall sports going. It's an overwhelming push to get this done. Yes.
You toured 2 schools today with a group of about 10 people. Are you concerned at all that you unnecessarily expose students and staff in the buildings?
No, we were all following all the safety protocols. I think we had less than 10 other than the teachers and the students. And we didn't allow all the media to come. We had one camera that we shared with all of you. We'll wait for that. We're touring schools all across the state. I was excited to see kids back in the classroom. We toured before we came here and saw all these classrooms with half the students getting instruction on important things that they were learning, and to see how happy the kids were and how enthusiastic the teachers were. And then earlier we were at Waverly Elementary, where it was great to see some kids that really would not have the opportunity to learn otherwise that were in the classroom. Just a small group. It's not full classrooms, but the kids were excited, the teachers were excited, and we were taking every safety precaution. We all had masks, as did all the students and the teachers.
I know that you had mentioned that at Waverly Elementary School you guys had visited that school that has a particularly large population of students who are Spanish speakers. Talk a little bit about the impact that virtual learning has had, especially on that population. That's a pretty significant population.
Right.
In Frederick County.
Well, thank you for the question. Waverly Elementary, I believe it was 82% of the students there, English as a second language, and many of them are first-time learners and in elementary school, so they're young kids that really benefit by being in there with the teachers, hands-on, trying to get them learning basic English skills, and they were also teaching math and other subjects. But some of these kids who didn't have access to laptops and perhaps didn't have connectivity, and had struggles with language barriers, it was really one of the best ways we can possibly get them learning. And so I think all across the state we're seeing special needs kids who really need the hands-on face-to-face instruction. We're seeing kids who are challenged in other ways that really benefit. So we're not trying to bring every kid back in the classroom. Some of them can do very well in distance learning, but there are a lot of kids that with the small classrooms, with teachers being there to work with them on their instruction, it's been a tremendous benefit, and we're seeing that in counties all across the state.
Last question, please.
Under the current guidelines, not everyone might be able to come see their child play sports. What would you say to the parents that are interested in coming to watch their kids play sports, high school sports?
Yeah, well, I think the parents are most interested in seeing their kids get back to be able to play some sports, and you will be able to get some parents in to watch them play sports. I mean, we currently have 250-person minimums for gatherings, but just letting the parents and the immediate family in of some of the students, I think, would be a good idea. But we got to keep them distanced and masked and keep them safe. Yeah. Thank you guys very much.